Thanks for joining us on Painting Happy Little Minis. I'm Gretchen.
And I'm Dave.
And today we have two special guests. We have John Kowalski and Aaron Dill from Monster Fight Club. They should pop up right around here.
Give me. Go.
Did I pronounce that right? Because I was... Woo.
Close enough.
Close enough.
No.
Close enough for a camera.
Kowalski.
It's good.
Yeah? Is it Kowalski?
Kowalski?
Yeah,
Kowalski.
Kowalski. There we go.
I've learned. Apparently my mic might be off.
Is Christian's mic off?
I hear you.
No.
They've had enough of me.
So, hi Byron, hi Sumki, hi Roger. We'll check on Christian's mic.
Yeah, you have to take over, Dave.
I have to take over?
Yeah,
No.
You have to intro, you have to talk.
I can't do intro and talk. Anyway, okay. So I have to apologize for at the beginning of the show, right before we came on, I pointed out to Gretchen how amusing it was watching us in the little intro with that music. It's like I never thought that would happen. But it has. This is apparently every week. It's the first time I've actually listened to that.
With the music?
Yeah. It's great. But anyway, yes, as Gretchen said, do we have your mic yet? Seriously?
No, I don't think we do. Byron says it's still off.
Okay.
I'm just going to keep going until people can hear me.
That sounds like a plan. Gretchen's going to keep going until people
can
can hear her. John can.
Everyone that matters can hear me.
That's an interesting statement. But anyway, that's cool. So, yeah, as Gretchen said, we have John and Aaron from Monster Fight Club here for, joining us again. You guys joined us, when was it? In June? May?
Yeah.
Sometime
Well, been on
maybe?
twice. Yeah, we've had
Twice.
2 different times.
2 other times?
I think so.
But I mean, earlier this year it was so during the hobby hangout phase.
Yeah.
John and Aaron joined
Yeah.
us, and we painted some of the cyberpunk miniatures, which was super cool.
Yep.
Today, Gretchen and I will be painting the Headless Horseman miniatures from WizKids. I'll put it up
Very
in my
cool.
face because I've gone and base coated everything black so that I can start with that, get that sort of spooky evil feel. Evil? Spooky and evil? Does spooky and evil go together?
The Headless Horseman myth is kind of evil-y, I feel like.
I think so. Quite possibly. But Aaron, what are you going to be painting up today?
So we've got a Kickstarter running right now, and we've talked about our pre-painted scenery in the past, but for the first time, we're offering unpainted scenery. So I grabbed a few pieces of that. And I thought I would do some Martian red hills to go along with a Mechanicus army I'm working on right now. And I primed a couple pieces white. I'm going to try to do them in like a glowy blue to use as objectives for my new Necron army. So going for some Martian red hills and some Necron objectives from our unpainted hills.
Right. Cool. Excellent. And John, what are you going to be working on?
So I'm doing blood and gore today. So in the Kickstarter, where we have a whole bunch of stretch goals. So we're working on painting up the stretch goals to kind of show what different things are. The Ice Wilds Kickstarter that we have, it's winter themed and everything else. So we are doing walruses and seals and penguins and all that kind of stuff. But there's also some pretty hostile stuff out there. So I'm in the process of putting together half-eaten animals right now.
Half-eaten animals. That's
half-eaten animals. So I've got. They're not all half. But we also have some bear traps, and I also have a couple of penguins here. So who knows what these guys are going to look like by the time I'm done with them. But I've got out the red gore, so we'll see what happens.
excellent. Nice. It sounds like it could be a dangerous show. Excellent. Okay. Oh.
We're back.
Did we fade to black there for a second?
We did.
Oh my goodness.
That was exciting.
It was. I panicked. Excellent. Okay, but does it sound like, Gretchen, we have you back?
Am I back? Am I hearable? Am I making sounds to people outside?
Outside the building can hear.
Maybe.
It's almost like I think I'm hearing you through Dave's mic.
Oh, is it like that?
That could be accurate. Nope, still muffled. I'm a muffled person.
And it seems like I'm the only person who can hear Gretchen clearly. I'll have to translate. Awesome. But we know that Leona is working fiercely in the background. Trying to get
Leona works
sorted.
so hard for everything always. But what have people been working on besides us?
So we've talked about everybody else on the screen. What about everybody in the chat? Who's working on it? Byron suggests plugging it in. I don't know, Byron. I'm not sure that'll work.
They forgot to charge me before my batteries are low.
Right. Excellent. So it says, I think this is a power move by Dave to take over the show. Oh no. No. I'm no good at the hosting.
You're the hosting with the mosting.
No, I'm not that either. But excellent. So we've mentioned the Kickstarter a couple of times. The Monster Fight Club current Kickstarter. It's called Ice Wilds. Is that right?
Ice Wilds.
That's right.
Ice Wilds. And so it's basically it's an extension and expansion of your terrain range. The monster scenery.
Yep. So I think I guess it was over a year ago that we were on the show and we were talking about the trees with the tops that pulled off the top and everything else. Yep. And Kickstarter went off great. We got it fulfilled. It's out in the world. It's out in stores right now, which is exciting. We even got which pack. So
yeah, the packaging looks great.
Yep, Alliance has it up in their warehouses, which is great. So everything's ready to go, pre-painted right out of the box when it goes up. And so we have, rocks and fallen trees and bushes and all kinds of fun stuff that's in there. And one of the things that we were missing when we did the first time, we've been trying to think about, how do you do a pine tree? Seems like how hard could a pine tree be? Get a bottle brush, put it together, go to town. And we wanted to do a little bit more than that. We wanted to actually kind of follow through with our mantra that every single piece of terrain that we put, even if you break it apart, you can use each piece by itself. So if you take the canopy off the tree, it could be a big bush. If you've got the tree by itself, now it's a tree without the things, everything else. So lo and behold, we came up with our dun, 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 dun. Let's see if
very
I can get
cool
some light on this.
There we go.
There we go. Let's see if we can get some
kind
of shine on it. But these are wonderful. So they sit down. This particular one is about 10 inches tall on the upside. What's great about this is just like before, you can
very cool
take the top off.
That's awesome.
Just by itself, when you put down, is also just a wonderful tree. It's also hollow on the bottom side. So like we did before, you can put things and cover them up.
Right.
To hide different models. And what's really cool about this is that they are cones. So you want 2 trees? Cool. I got 2 trees. Set them down.
I love that.
You want a tall tree and a short tree?
Yep. Very cool.
Got them together. So, in the box, you can actually end up making like 6 different, pine tree-esque things on the table out of the particular box of terrain that comes out. And this was the summer version that we did here because everybody wanted the green ones as well. But then we also went and for the Kickstarter, I'm going to reach over here real fast. It is winter, so we've got all the winter stuff going on.
Yep. Yeah, that looks cool.
Is so perfect.
Yep.
And everything can be mixed and matched. It's neat. And then my mother-in-law owns a nursery, so she jokingly says, when a tree dies, it's called an everbrown. So we're making blighted trees as well. And
excellent.
And some other. So we got those. And then what we did is because it is winter, Aaron's doing one of the unpainted hills. But in the process of going through the last time and figuring out what material we wanted to use, we did some clear ones. And after doing some clear ones, we're like, these come out. Let's see. There's the camera. Camera's over.
Yep.
There we
go.
So this is a translucent blue that looks like ice, and we're like, you know what? Let's do glaciers and ice rocks and everything else. And
that looks cool. Yeah.
And this is fun because you can take models and you can actually see them through it.
Yep.
It's like the Avatar.
So you got some big frost dragon coming through and it freezes everything. You can have like frozen horses and all kinds of stuff on the battlefield.
So fantastic.
Yep.
And then because we have a hard time making decisions because it looks cool different ways you painted it, we went and put a simple white dry brush on it, and then you get this really neat looking, let's see if
sort of
the lighting over. And this came out very neat.
Yep. Kind of like a frosted finish.
Exactly. So it's still translucent. You can still see up inside of it.
Yep.
But you compare that to this one, and they're two very different effects.
Yeah. Yeah, very definitely.
And then we took it one step further, and we did painted versions.
Right. Yep.
There's some folks out there just like who want to see a fully painted table. Everything's got paint on it. So in that one that John's holding there, it's painted blue and then dry brushed up to white.
Yeah.
So it's an opaque, solid coat paint.
Yeah, that looks really cool. Just quickly, I'm going to just give a quick shout out to Sumki, our pun master, who said, "I never finish tree projects; they get truncated." And also, I guess people have been really pining for more tree options.
Oh, I'd say the bad pun jokes have been flowing freely throughout this entire case.
Awesome.
So then we went through and we're like, so you got trees, you got the ice maps, you got the doodads, and then we just started kind of working our way through. So last time we had the fallen trees, so we have fallen trees in this one as well, but we decided to let the beavers go to town on them. So the bottoms of the fallen trees have been gnawed through, and then, we've got a series of little beavers. Kind of hard to see these guys.
All right.
Oh, it's so tiny and cute.
That's cool. Yeah.
So then we got beavers, and then if you're gonna have beavers out on the snow, then let's do it this way because I want the contrast. Gotta have some Arctic fox.
Excellent. That looks fantastic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So we got a couple of those, and then we did some grizzly bears. So I'm gonna put a grizzly bear up here, but he doesn't look near as cool because it should be a polar bear. Right. So we've actually painted these up white, melting. Black, and brown.
There's mixes now between polar bears and grizzly bears because they've been
like
integrating.
Right. Crossbreeding.
Yeah. They're
working
not
together.
Separated by ice bear.
So this one here, that's an actual mount.
Okay.
We strapped, which is kind of cool. And then there's this really cool piece of art that's been floating around where they had polar bears pulling a dog sled. That always impressed me. So we did the dog sled, which is very cool.
Yeah,
and
nice.
You could take the cargo out of the top of the dog sled. So right. Put a miniature in there, and of course, because we're all about being gamey. Let's see. I don't have that one particular model that I want, but we designed the back so that a base can actually sit into it.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
For your guys.
Yeah.
This is like James. What was that James Bond movie where you had the guys on dog sleds and skis?
All of them.
That was Roger Moore.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's all of them for sure.
We have some questions in the chat about when and what will be available. So what's already out versus when the Kickstarter things will be coming out, and generally.
So
curious.
Everything from the original Kickstarters, which is the deciduous trees, so everything with the leaves that can fall off of it, The Gray Hills. You want to go down the list, Aaron?
Yeah, so the first Kickstarter was green, like summer trees, autumn trees, spring trees. They're like pink with cherry blossoms. And we also had some kind of mystical fantasy blue trees. And those are all the deciduous trees where the caps come off. Actually have a couple of unpainted ones sitting right behind here. So that was this style of deciduous tree.
Yep.
The different treetop. And then we also had the gray Rocky Hills and the desert Rocky Hills in the first one, plus a variety of accessories. So those pieces are available now on our website or from your local game shop. And then what this Kickstarter is introducing, the new stuff in this Kickstarter are the pine trees, the frosty, wintry hills, plus all of the Arctic accessories, the polar bears, the penguins, dog sleds, wooden fences. So that's the new stuff that's going to be delivered next year. But lots of it's available right now.
Right. Cool.
Yep.
And then
definitely in there, Byron. If you want to check out those frosty rocks, check out the Kickstarter now.
I'll email you a link to the Kickstarter to share with folks real quick. And then one thing we got a lot of requests for on our first campaign, because like we're here because we're painters, people wanted unpainted stuff. So we've also mentioned this earlier, making unpainted versions of the stuff available for the first time. It comes in this really, I'm almost done actually painting all the stuff I brought with me, the base coating at least. But it comes in this nice dark gray with just a hint of blue in it, plastic that takes paint pretty quickly and easily. So and it provides kind of a natural shadow finish. So I've already painted that side here. So the bare plastic parts end up being it kind of gives it a nice shadow tone without priming it at all. I didn't prime this before I started painting.
And the sculpt is so textured that it looks like it's just a dream to dry brush. Like,
oh yeah, I mean, I started dry brushing. Go ahead.
I was just saying it looked brilliant to dry brush.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I started dry brushing when the stream started, and I don't think I brought enough stuff to paint because I already have like 8 things that are base coated. I'll do a couple more layers here, but it's really fast to paint up.
Cool. That's awesome. Also, I just wanted to say that some key thinks it looks rock solid. I can help out there. But also, of course, it would have to be Roger Moore would let us know that it's actually for your eyes only. Is the James Bond
You're
film.
On fire. You're on fire.
No. It's actually Roger Moore. Like not the actor Roger Moore, but the member of the Painting Happy Little Minis community, Roger Moore. Yeah, I must admit, I haven't asked if they're the same person.
You just assume.
Just assuming not.
I'm assuming they are.
They are? Yeah. It's more exciting that way, right?
You never know. You never know.
I don't think so.
We've learned that there are a surprising amount of celebrity gamers.
Oh, this is true. Yeah. Yep. Are you still on your quest to meet Henry Cavill?
Gonna get him on the show.
Get him on the show.
I need the support of the group. If every single person from the Painting Happy Littles Minis group were, yes, this is Kmart, Henry Cavill.
Kmart, Henry Cavill.
That's still a compliment.
Okay. Fantastic.
Oh no, my mic killed the whole screen.
Oh dear.
Oh my. Okay. Technical
Wow.
difficulties
Are we
today
offline
are
right now?
going strong. I don't know.
We're back. Hooray. Reload fixed. So that's good. But I think that all sounds very cool. I think one of the other questions that I want to check in with you guys is Tentacle Town. Is the cool game that you guys you kickstarted last year, about this time last year?
About this time last year, we had.
Yep.
Go ahead, John.
Go ahead, Aaron.
We were expecting to be playing Tentacle Town right now, but with the world events being what they are, we hit some pretty significant delays in manufacturing, as did lots of Kickstarters. But it's wrapping up production basically as we speak. We're expecting it to start shipping ocean freight, so still starting to ship still means it's a few months out, but it's about done. And so hopefully people will have that in their hands before too much longer.
Okay, cool. I mean, keeping up with it.
It should be on a boat. We're hoping by the end of the month.
Right. Nice.
Yeah, that's a really fun little game. We've still been continuing to enjoy our prototype copy around our house with my daughters. It's a fun, quick little game. It's about an hour. You get to play with rubber tentacles. They all fit on your fingers, so they work like finger puppets.
Actually, we did get something cool.
Yeah, John's going to go get a cool prototype. We just got approved.
All right.
Something while we're waiting on John to come back that is not quite evident because John is not 5'4". John is significantly taller than that. When he's holding those trees, it's not quite obvious just how tall they are. But those pine trees at 10 inches tall are quite a bit taller than most tanks and stuff, and they really do a great job of providing height on the battlefield.
It's like,
that was one of our optional add-ons.
Oh my gosh, I feel like
the giant hand puppet.
Yep.
And again, because I'm enormous, my hands look. It's funny, but you put on a robe and you have these on both hands and you start walking around the house.
I want one. That's amazing.
Yep.
I want two. And I want like a hat of one. I feel like that would just complete the look.
Yeah.
Well, that's only an elastic strap away.
And it's amazingly soft. It's like this perfect pillow. It'll just leave.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I'll put in a plug that the Tentacle Town Pledge Manager, we've left it open for an extended time because of the shipping delays, but we are going to be closing. It's still open right now, but not for much longer. We're going to be closing that soon once it ships. So we can start getting people's boxes ready. But you can, in fact, log on to the Tentacle Town. You go to the Tentacle Town Kickstarter page. There's a link to the Pledge Manager, and you can get your very own tentacle hand puppet right now.
Awesome.
or 4 if you want one for both hands and one for each foot.
Nice.
I mean, I have tiny feet. I could do that.
Yep.
I could make that happen. It would fit in with my
I bet you could.
costume.
There's plenty of room in there. I mean, I'm
I'm 5'3",
yeah, I'm up,
so
I'm up to like.
I fully expect to be able to make that work.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so.
Tentacle slippers. It kind of works that way, maybe.
Tentacle slippers. Yeah.
Now that would be rad. I feel like tentacle slippers would be amazing.
It's the way to go, I
holiday
think.
season, that looks plush and warm. I would wear that.
Oh, it's crazy warm. Yeah, no, it feels so good.
Excellent. That's good.
Gonna get the fire pit up and running. Yes.
Toast your tentacles by the fire.
That sounds like a good idea. I'm down for that.
Awesome.
Play some games. Not that close to the fire pit, but the one fear of playing games out by the fire pit with the hot cocoa would be the fire pit itself.
The enormous burning thing in the middle of, like, in between everybody, where the board usually
You know
goes.
what? Someone just gets real excited. All it takes is one just very passionate individual slamming down the Uno card.
Right.
And straight into the fire.
Everything flies into the
I like
fire.
how you make it sound like the fire pit's just going to explode. Like, that's only if you're throwing magic cards.
Oh, no. I mean, that was
not
all the
human.
cards
Oh.
flying off into the fire. Of course, the fire itself is not going to explode. You're right. It is only in action movies. But we did have confirmation Roger Moore in the chat is not the Roger Moore. He did, of course, point out that the other Roger Moore, who played James Bond, died several years ago.
Oh, so that would be alarming
That's
if he
what he
was.
wants you to think.
There we go. Spider-Man has joined us. I saw Mike Becker was in the chat earlier, and Sean is here. So hi, everybody. But yes. Somebody says, yes, all it takes is one passionate individual to get fired up. Yeah. But very cool. Yep, Mike's still here. Hooray! Very cool. One thing that I was going to mention, because I'm kind of greedy like that, is I'm going to talk a little bit about the Train Essentials Kickstarter that I ran last year. And we're finally at the point where the book itself is at the printers, being printed. So super exciting. So very happy about that. Is Gretchen? No, is Leona at the control panel? She is fantastic. So one thing that I wanted to do for all of our backers who've been so incredibly patient this year was give them a cool thing to say thank you. So I spoke with John in July, I think. It was a really quick turnaround for this. So yeah, I spoke to John in July.
We moved
and so and I commissioned John to create this miniature for us. So you got one of your sculptors to work on this, and
yeah. So Charles Woods.
Charles Woods,
our in-house sculptor extraordinaire. He would put that together for you guys.
Yeah, did a fantastic job there, and created a. Oh, sorry.
I was just saying we got inspired by the hat, so we had to do 2 heads for it.
Yes. So in Mel's, so this is a mini Mel Bowes, the terrain tutor, who is the author of Terrain Essentials. We created this so that all of the backers of the physical books will get one of these free. Warlord Games are also going to have 100 of them for the first 100 people who pre-order the book with them, as will Ironheart Artisans. So very cool stuff. But yeah, this guy is scaled for bolt action from Warlord Games. So if you're building a whole bunch of bolt action terrain, you can use this mini Mel to make sure that your scaling is correct, which is pretty cool. Mel almost cried when I showed it to him. Didn't actually,
awesome.
But he almost cried. So that was pretty exciting.
Well, now we know what the stretch goal is.
Hmm?
So
Yeah.
now I got to make him cry.
Crying Mel, for sure. But yeah, so very excited. Hopefully in the beginning of November, we'll be starting to ship those out to backers. But yeah, I just wanted to bring it onto the show to show everybody and say thank you, John, and thank you, Monster Fight Club, for helping make that happen.
Pleasure. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking about taking the head and putting them on a spit and putting a whole long line of them down the road. I thought it would be kind of cool.
Right.
I am painting gore right now, so I'm in a dark place.
Yeah. I think so. You need to stop working on half-eaten animals. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, we did a whole bunch of traps. So there's like a bear trap.
Okay. Yeah.
And so after we got done, we had to do one that was open, one that was closed, and we're like, half jokingly said, "Well, where's the one with the leg that got ripped in two?" So that's the one that I'm putting some red on right now, which will be excellent when I'm done.
Very cool. Excellent. Sorry, I just noticed in the chat that Mike Becker suggested that the actual Roger Moore or the James Bond Roger Moore posting would be some next level necro posting. Indeed.
Halloween is coming.
Yeah. But
Halloween is up.
we say hi to William Palmer and hi to Wayne. But Mike also says, I super love Monster Fight Club's Cyberpunk Red figures. So big thumbs up there from Mike Becker in Texas.
So the exciting thing about the Cyberpunk Red stuff is that the Cyberpunk RPG core rulebook is off to press. So
cool.
That should be out in the world right about the same time, if not the week before the video game comes out for 2077, which is super exciting.
And that's from Talosorian?
Talosorian Games, yep. And
cool.
then And then here's kind of the first look at our retail packaging.
Oh, great.
And this is, we started shipping this out to distributors everywhere. So it all should hit your local game store right about the same time. So there are 8 different sets that we did that kind of match up with everything that's in the core RPG book.
Okay.
And then we have another huge project, which I'm not going to go into the name of it right now, but it's
at
a full-blown game and terrain and everything else. It's a full combat system, so you can kind of go out there and think Necromunda in a cyberpunk universe. Sort of.
Okay, cool. So lots of sort of vertical as well as horizontal terrain.
Lots of vertical. We have arm and rule set that is fast and quick and clean and very deadly when you're sitting there playing with it, which is a lot of fun.
Cool.
We have a campaign system built into it that lets you level up your models as you're sitting there playing through some stuff.
Lots of cool new models.
Whether you're a sniper and shooting 4 foot across the table, or you're running down an alley being chased by drones or something like that. There's a lot of really fun elements to it.
Nice. That's cool. When when do you think you'll be revealing more about that?
We are going to be revealing quite a bit about that in November after the video game announces.
Okay. Excellent. Yep. Very cool. The sets that the 3-figure pack that you just showed us there. What's the price point on those?
$19.99.
They're all.
Yep. Sorry, could you say that again?
$20 for 3 figures, $19.99.
Right. Cool. $19.99. Sounds good.
There's 4 packs of player characters that represent the different kind of character classes, like netrunners and rockers and nomads. So there's 3 packs of those. So 12 different player characters. There's 2 packs of police officers, and then 2 packs of combat zoners for kind of street denizens. They could be local gang members. They could be citizens. They're kind of dressed in street clothes, but heavily armed civilians. They could be bank robbers. They kind of useful NPCs. So 2 packs of those with different weapon options.
Right. Nice. That's very cool.
So that will be, let's see, so that's 24 figures out in the world. And then we've got north of 100 figures right now that are done and being all prepped to show off to the world. So we're excited to get them out here very soon. I would expect that next week after the Kickstarter ends, we'll start showing all the new stuff.
All right, excellent.
Build that up until we announce our core game.
Oh, that'd be very cool. Well, I have to keep an eye out for that. Probably, maybe get a good response in the chat there from Mike Becker. So maybe Mike will post a link in the Painting Happy Little Minis Facebook group once that goes out. But yeah, we'll definitely be excited to look at that. More of those excellent minis that we painted earlier this year. It'll be great to see. Definitely cool.
I enjoy painting those a lot. Their scale is such that they're just a hint bigger than 28 mil. But really fun to paint.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's our friend Matt Parks over in the UK. You know Matt.
Yep.
He just got sending a bunch of stuff over to us, and this is one of his.
Oh, cool.
That's so cute.
Is she on rollerblades?
She is on rollerblades, yes.
Excellent.
So we've got that one through. We've got our 12-year-old rocket launcher girl, because that's age appropriate.
Yep. Totally. Just amazed that she can hold it.
Well, it's in the future. There's lots of lightweight materials.
This is true. This is true. I guess maybe the casing's made of cardboard, right?
Right.
It's one use only.
2045. They're light and portable.
People
Awesome.
are stronger in the future. It's fine.
Pardon?
People are stronger in the future.
This is true. They're probably augmented. Probably augmented. Or it might just be a hologram. which
Isn't
would be fine as
everybody
well.
augmented?
In the future?
They all have
I hope so.
in the grim.
I really hope so.
All those 5 different kids, like kind of teenagers, like street kids with guns, those are all in the Generation Red set of figures that's on our site, but hasn't hit
Right.
retail yet.
Yeah. No, they all look fantastic, I think. Very nice.
The ones I've been having fun with are the bozo poser gangs, all the creepy clowns and their cybergenic makeup. So been having fun with those right now. So we're
It's the season for creepy clowns.
Excellent. That's cool. Well, Spider-Man has an industry question. Maybe is there a design process on deciding between producing modular, customizable miniatures versus single pose minis? Is it to do with cost, accessibility, ease?
yes,
All those things. Tell us all.
So you know, figures are made in a lot of different ways. You know, you had the old spin cast stuff in metal, and then people started doing the hard plastics like Workshop did, and then people started making different kind of molds that were kind of pour cast molds, and they started using PVC plastic, kind of like the Simon stuff that's out there, which you can make in a little bit forgiving, but you start losing crispness and sharpness on them. You know, how Workshop makes their stuff and their steel tools using hard plastic and everything. It's not just technical skill; it's an art form. The detail that they can achieve, because you got these 2 pieces of steel that don't give. So if there's something inside and you pull the mold apart and something has any sort of an undercut, it'll just get ripped apart in hydraulics. So you can't do it. So the work that has to be done is very difficult. And then there are some hybrid methods that are brand new that people are just starting to use, and we're starting to use some of that right now too. And you're producing some really high-end models that you can get away with some crazy amounts of undercuts and details on them, yet they're still plastic. So you're getting this wonderful matte finished, thermoplastic that you're injecting this stuff in, and you're able to get some really good details with, next to no mold lines, and some of the undercuts and stuff that we're getting away with for the Cyberpunk miniatures just blow me away.
Right.
Situations you have an arm over an arm where there's no way you should be able to get this out of a mold, yet you can do it.
Okay.
And
Nice.
that gets into a little bit, with the posing, like John's saying, to the question of multi pose versus single pose. You can sometimes end up getting a more dynamic, interesting pose on a miniature if it's not a multi-pose miniature with tons of options. You think back to the old Space Marine kits of 10 years ago. Like, you could swap all their arms and their heads and their guns around, but they all kind of ended up being in the same pose so that you could swap out every single arm and every single head and so forth. Whereas, that miniature that John held up earlier with the teenager on rollerblades, it's kind of her pose. And we have been creating swappable heads and swappable weapons, but it's not like if you swapped a whole other arm on her or a different upper torso, at that point you're making multiple miniatures, and you have to lose some of the posing coolness, kind of sacrifice some posing flexibility for multiple part miniatures.
Okay.
So one of the things we're doing, and the Mel is a great example, is that, the head is something that adds all the character to the model when you look at it. And because of the volume of the plastic, it's so small. It it takes sculpting time to make an additional head and to put it on the sprue, but the actual cost to add that head to it is relatively small. So we are trying to do a whole lot of things where we're adding multiple heads, like a lot of the sprues for the Night City Police Corps that we're doing, and SWAT team, some of that. You're getting 3 models, but you're getting stripped again for a 5-head one. So you pick how you want it. The heads are all socket on the bottom, so you can put them in and rotate the head around. So you are getting some variability. Some of the models we're doing, we're offering weapon choice. If that's something appropriate, that's easy enough to change out. And so the best part about all of this is that we are doing this in-house. We are doing it right here in Virginia. So it's crazy how quickly you can go from a concept now to a finished model. You can
take a production model,
yeah, because yours, the thing that slowed us down for doing Mel was just time in the queue. We had just a bunch of projects out there. And once we were able to get that through, you can go from a concept to a physical 3D printed model that you hold in your hand, in less than a week. And then after that, you take that model and you make some math.
Oh.
Oh no.
No.
Ah!
Am I back?
You're back.
Okay. Where was
Excellent.
I?
Cool. So
just how quickly we can get the miniatures done.
Right.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. But yeah, so once you get one done and you make the masters and you build your sprue, I'm going to hold this up real quick. So this is one of our gangers, but this is something we're producing in house.
Right.
So there's 16
very cool.
Very durable, highly detailed plastic models.
Yep. Yeah, that is very cool.
Yep. So it's inspiring. It's I think back to the early days when you're making your bootleg models with the melted fishing weights in your basement, pouring stuff in there trying to do stuff, and how far things have come today. And you can hang with some of the best of them out there. Now it comes down to the talent of your sculptors and the concepts that you put together and what you end up with. So one of the things we're working on right now is it's like everybody yells at me because the Kickstarter going, and then I keep wanting to add things to the Kickstarter as it goes along. They're like, we have a plan. I know, but this is so cool. Well, one of the things I wanted to do is after having all this up, we had the penguins and we had the wolves and we had all this other kind of stuff, and we're like, we don't have a walrus. So I immediately wanted to have a walrus. So there's our walrus. He is awesome. He's got all kinds of action.
That's fantastic.
And what's great about that is, now that I have this, give me another 2 weeks and I'll have sprues on them. And that's the coolness of this. Or, one of the other silly things we were doing is we started making a narwhal because it just makes me laugh. And so we went
make a narwhal.
Everybody loves narwhals.
So you've got the narwhal here coming up out of the water.
Oh, awesome!
Sticking up. So we'll get that guy painted up. But before we do this, the initial one you do is you.
Oh.
We're frozen.
It's kind of appropriate for the ice wilds.
I can still hear you, Dave. We lose John?
Yep, we lost John. I'm going to blame Virginia Internet.
It is the case that the Monster Fight Club offices are kind of out in the country, and the power grid is not awesome there.
Right.
I'm safely based in urban Atlanta, so. But well, I know, Dave, you've been talking about doing a walrus army for as long as I've known you, so now you can finally get that done.
Right. That's true.
The 30 walrus cavalry on the march, it'll be awesome.
How awesome would that be?
God, that would be that.
It would be something.
You'd just be waddling.
Yeah, but it's funny because
that would be awesome. You could do an
They'd
alternate
waddle
weekend
in
army.
tandem. Like that's just what I pictured in my head. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's what you pictured.
I'm not sure. I think
And he's
Well,
back.
he's back. Cool. Excellent. I'm thinking a lot about the. I'll keep painting. No. Okay. Cool. There we go. I was thinking about the for the mats that you've got for the Ice Wilds Kickstarter. There's one side that has the ice flow across it.
Yep.
So it looks like you've got two solid sides and then chunks of ice through the middle with that fantastic sort of greenish blue water. It'd be fantastic to have have the narwhal coming up through there, or if you have that unit of, we were just talking about of like an army of 30 walrus cavalry. While you're all gone, we thought we'd talk about walrus cavalry.
Or imagine everybody's coming across the ice flow and suddenly you've got these 20 spikes coming up through the ice.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. But I was thinking that across that ice flow area, that's where the walrus would be at their fastest. They might normally move like 2 inches a turn. They'd be like 6 or 8 inches across the ice flow.
So on the original trees that we did, the template we had on the bottom had the pond on one side, and the other side was kind of the leaf texture and stuff on the end top. So the Ice Wilds ones, what we have is you have the kind of the snow underneath the trees on one side, but then when you flip it over, it's the crack, it's the actual hole in the ice.
Okay.
So when you lay that out on the map, that creates these ice holes that pop up, and kind of go from there.
That's cool. So, and you'd want to have those narwhals coming up through there. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Any chance to put the narwhal on the table? Nice. That'd be good.
I know several people.
What's even more fun than that is when you first lay it out. So here was the T-pose that we ended up with when we first started.
Right.
When it came out, and it's surprisingly balanced, and you could throw it at a dartboard and it sticks, which cracks me up. You're like,
right.
I think that needs to be on the box. I think that is just right there,
It's
like
the
right
feature.
after the description. Just you throw it at it's so balanced. You throw it at a dartboard and it sticks.
Yep.
So when we do our Kickstarter's over party, I think I'm going to take these and I'm going to put cheese and small sausages on the end, and we'll use them as hors d'oeuvre sticks.
That'd be fantastic.
Should be fun.
Yeah, I was thinking pickled onions. Yeah, like the tiny pickled onions.
That would work. Little gherkins.
Or have some olives on there and drop it in a dirty martini. Just saying.
That's actually a really good idea. I like that idea.
That's how we make the big money on Kickstarter. Forget this terrain stuff.
Yes. Connect it to booze. You'll be fine.
Yes, connected to booze and everything works out fine.
Yeah. Excellent. That'll be good. That'll be cool. Guys, I'm not sure if we told you, but we're this month or throughout October we're running Prompttober. So each week we're giving everybody a prompt word, so they can paint up some miniatures that are connected to it. So in the first week, so last week, I think, what was our word? Undead?
I think it was undead.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yep.
So yeah, our word last week was undead. And I think we had 17 entries in the
Nice.
thing. So if you guys are cool with it, we're going to take a quick look through those now-ish. Yes, cool.
Oh, nice.
Look at that. And we're still all on the screen. How about that? Yes. But can we hear Gretchen?
Can we hear me now?
Gretchen's
I hear
it's a
you.
little quiet.
As a little quiet. That's all right. I can enunciate. I'll speak from my diaphragm.
Project! But first up, we've got a fantastic zombie unicorn. That is just amazing.
I love the colors because you can still tell it's undead, but the colors are like vibrant and magical and have that unicorn appeal.
Yeah. It looks fantastic. Absolutely awesome, Carl. And one of my favorite parts is actually, and John will enjoy this from the all of his gore that he's been painting. But underneath that rib cage there, it looks like all of the innards have just spilled out on the floor.
It was a very
That's awesome.
quickly undead.
Quickly decomposing unicorn. But no, it looks fantastic. Nice work, Carl. Next up, we have Chantelle Taylor has painted up. Chantelle posted quite a few of these, didn't she? But painted up some Poxwalkers from Warhammer 40,000. And yeah, this one in particular looks fantastic. That tentacle arm looks amazing, doesn't it?
The texture looks so smooth and shiny comparative to like the gut of
Yeah. Yep.
Just like me.
Yes. She must have known.
That's how
How
they're
did you
coming
know,
down my
Chantelle?
shoulder. It's like one of those parrots.
Yeah, spectacular work there. It looks awesome. Nice one. Chris painted up one of the Mirmorn Banshees.
That's great.
In those very cool purple tones. And I love the connection to the sort of the orange of the hilt and the bodice. Connect that with the birch seeds that he's used for the leaves on the base. But yeah, nice work there, Chris. Excellent. Daniel Mann has painted up. I'm guessing this is a necromancer.
They
To go with the undead?
necromancy.
Pardon?
So they look necromancy.
It looks necromantic. Yep. I thought you said it looked necrofancy. That's what I thought you said.
But she's also necrofancy. Look at that skirt. Look at the skulls of her enemies.
Yep.
Used
And that
as fashion accessories.
the little cage there with the heart in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe that's also her coin purse.
Possibly.
I don't. It's necrofancy.
Necrofancy. I think
Use that.
hashtag necrofancy. We should make that trend. Let's see if we can do that.
Is that a heart? Is that a heart in a lockbox?
It is. Yeah. Yep.
That's cool.
It's kind of it's cool and kind of scary at exactly the same time. But yeah, nice work, Daniel. Looks great. Dwight CROWE. This is I'm trying to remember the name of the model. I think it might be Lady Olinda.
Yeah.
Yep. But fantastic work putting all of these ghosts and banshees sort of flying around that tree.
I love the use of that moss to kind
Yeah.
of mimic the same kind of drapery that you get from the minis themselves.
Right.
That fabric, kind of.
Yep. Looking like the fabric of the ghostly cloaks
Yes.
and robes and stuff like that. Yep. It gives that it's got that very sort of Spanish moss kind of feel
Oh yeah.
as well
That.
from your home state.
From my home state. I went down to Florida and I got to see the Spanish moss again when I picked up my cat.
Yeah.
Because I almost brought some back and then I realized that I'm pretty sure I'm like semi-allergic to it.
Right. But awesome work there, Dwight. Nice job. What do we got next? Oh, Eddie Drood is working on a undead Blood Bowl team. An awesome mummy and a couple of skeleton linemen in the background there. These guys are from 1994, 1995, something like that. 25, 26 years
I want
old.
to fact
But
check on that.
what's that? You want to fact check on that?
I wanna-
Go for it.
I want to fact check.
I'm not.
It could be as early as 93. I'll go to that. But I'm guessing, I think it's more likely to be 94. But no, these look great. I think the color choices are awesome. That kind of blood red over the spikes. Again, getting that wonderful gore that you're so fond of at the moment, John.
It looks like fresh blood.
It does, doesn't it?
It looks
Maybe
like
on
quite
that,
gritty.
It's not theirs, from the other teams.
Nice work, Eddie. Graham, oh, it's been painting up stuff from Mantic's Walking Dead game, and got the zombie Rick Grimes at the front, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. In his police jacket and uniform. But no, they look fantastic. I love the variety of skin tones through there. They look really good, Graham. Nice choices.
Yep.
And Heather Santo is painted up. Is this like a Lich King? I think it might be like a Lich King.
Whatever it is, it's cool.
Yeah, it is. That the axe has got a real scythe feel to it as well, doesn't it? You can imagine if you rotated that like 90 degrees, just sort of swung it out a little bit, it'd be a perfect scythe too. But I love that, and I love the framing like around the face. You got the dark face there, but the little crown is framed really beautifully in the sort of the rest of the dark headdress that's going on behind it. But excellent work, Heather. Nice one. Oh, John Miller has painted up the. What's the? Not a zombie dragon. Is it a nightmare dragon? No, it's not a nightmare dragon. We painted that. Yeah. But a very cool skeletal dragon here.
I like how the blue kind of glows from within on that.
Yeah. Yep. The magic that's animating it. I could definitely see this sitting in amongst some sort of winter hills and rocks.
Yeah, that was
Definitely
great.
looks cool.
Blend in.
A Dracolich.
Surprise your
Dracolich.
surprise your heroes.
Yeah. No, great work, John. Nice one. Next up, JT has painted this. Where is this from? Is this from Zombicide Black Plague? Black Death? Black Plague? The medieval version of Zombicide, I think it might be. But it's very cool looking zombie. It's almost like he's been actually out exercising. It looks a bit like a tracksuit. I'm gonna say the green and gold. I don't think so either, but I kind of think so. I know it's not, but part of my mind is telling me that that's a great tracksuit. But no, looking good. I think yeah, the blood is working really well on the that yellow and red, yellow and green combination there. Nice work, JT. Oh, Chris Layfield's been painting up as a very emaciated zombie.
Well, obviously he's not good at catching people to eat.
No, no, it was very. I was wondering if he was like starved. If maybe the zombie starved to death. Could be the human starved to death and became the zombie. But it's looking very cool. I think it might be. I'm not sure. It might be like a little self-portrait there. Is that what it is, Chris? You'll have to let us know. But yeah. Sorry. No, I know that Chris isn't that thin. But no, Sumkey said, talking about that suit that was in the previous model, that Mike said was a Reaper zombie. So that suit has a great track record. Fantastic. Thank you, Sumkey. But awesome, excellent work there, Chris. I'm loving the sort of the dirty, decaying patches that you've been working in there on the shoulder and the thigh. Nice one. Mike has painted up an undead dwarf, which is looking super cool.
I really like how the beard interacts with the skull there.
Yeah, yep.
That's great contrast.
It does
looks really good.
looks very cool. Yeah. I'm loving the work on the axe there, the axe head. Really nice, very painterly quality to it. I think because of the size that the model probably is, that we're seeing it. Well, people who want to see it here on the monitor, blown up really big. But no, it looks great, Mike. Nice work. Scott Beale.
Is that a zombie pope?
I think it is a zombie pope. Is that a zombie pope? Everybody, let us know. Or is it a zombie saint? Oh, somebody said, whoa, Dave's audio got weird.
Are you sure it's just not Dave?
It's probably just Dave. Yeah.
It got kind of loud and staticky there for a minute.
Did I? Oh. Maybe because I was about to say something about the Pope. The zombie Pope. Or the zombie saint, perhaps. Everyone is normal now. I find that hard to believe.
Lies.
Lies.
Finally! It only took several years and a couple hundred shows, but we've made it.
Finally, we're normal. But yeah, talking about Scott's minis here.
It's a bishop.
They look fantastic. A bishop? Zombie. Bishop from Zombicide. Okay, these guys are from Zombicide. But it looks fantastic. I think the color choices there are great. And fits in beautifully with the rest of those zombies. And I love the flesh. Oh, sorry. Go back a sec. That's cool. I know we were on this guy for a little bit, but I love the flesh tone on the belly of the big guy on the right. Just looks fantastic. Nice work, Scott. That's great. Excellent. Oh, Sean has painted up a. It's kind of like the zombie ogres. The similar sort of body shape to the zombie ogres that we painted.
It's very common, I see, in a lot of more like I think hefty like minis that everyone when they zombify them just wants their guts to split open.
Yeah, for sure.
That's just a.
Otherwise, it's just a wounded something. But when you've got those guts spilling out, you know that you're not putting those back in. You can't get them all back in. You got to work too hard.
Can't Winnie the Pooh it? You can't.
No, you can't just do that. So.
It's a fun color scheme, though. I like all the rust.
Yep. But no, I think Sean's done a very cool job there. But you're right. I think done a great spilling of the guts. But looking at Tim Patterson's, this is a Warhammer Underworlds warband.
I think we've painted some of these before.
We have painted some of these before, exactly. But I think Tim's done a great job there with the those roses and the vines.
I like the more cool-toned green.
Okay.
That's used.
Yep.
Like on the actual like ethereal robes. Is that what you would?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Ethereal. Let's go with ethereal robes.
Ethereal. They're robes, but they're not like robes. They're spooky. They're
spooky robes. Okay. Wait, so they're not like dress robes or the robes one would find on a Hogwarts student?
They're a kooky kind of robe. I don't know what to.
But you're saying you like them.
I'm saying I like the use of green on them. I think that most people, I think, either use that really pale, like Ghostbusters shade of green,
right,
or they use very light blue or maybe some kind of purple, and that is a much darker green than I typically see.
Right.
But it still manages to look like they're supposed to be ghosts.
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah. So you steered away from the typical ghost look.
Yeah.
And go for something different, but it's been as successful.
Yes.
Yeah. That's cool. That was just a little translation there. But no, sorry.
The spooky robes are spooky, Dave.
The spooky robes are indeed spooky.
Get on my level of descriptors.
But fantastic work, Tim. Thanks for submitting those. They look great. Oh.
Yes, I do want to know who won. And we're going to also announce it here, and then you're going to post it up on the Facebook page, correct?
Cool.
So if you are in the chat and you're not part of the Facebook page, join that. And if you're not in the chat and you tried to be a part of this, whoops. Yay!
Oh, the winner is Carl Hamburger. Fantastic. So the winners were randomly drawn, which let everybody know. Completely random. But,
all of the winners will always be randomly drawn.
Yep. But congratulations, Carl. You are the first winner. And there'll be stuff and prizes sent your way.
So go to the page.
Yes.
So Leona can contact you. But I believe we're giving away the minis that we've painted for the first prompt, isn't that right?
Oh, is that what we're doing?
I thought no, we're not. What are we doing for that, Leona? Is it just a surprise?
We have a box of skulls and crawling vines and something else that I'm forgetting. But they're
Excellent.
all little accents for your base or your miniature.
Cool.
I just like, what have you won? What's behind door number 1? A box of skulls. That's what you
I thought it was appropriate
I
because
think it
of,
is.
Isn't that what everybody wants to win?
Well,
I mean,
especially
honestly.
since week 1 was undead.
Yep.
That's super appropriate. I like that.
Not that I'm actually correlating.
Well, now we have to come up with week 2, or do you already come up with that? Are we gonna do it
Yes,
in the
week
chat?
2 is scorched. That is
Scorched.
the prompt for week 2.
I keep track sometimes in my brain.
I know.
No, I don't.
I know. I understand.
Dave's looking at me so judgmentally right now. Through the glasses.
That's
like,
not
how
my-
do you not remember?
That's not my judgy face. This is my judgy face.
Oh, the eyebrow goes up for that.
Yeah.
And the prize for week 2 is some D&D blind box minis.
Oh, cool. Excellent.
4 of them, actually. 4 boxes.
Oh,
That'd be
that's
cool.
a really good prize.
Yes.
Everybody paint things. Kat, I painted it and almost posted it. Missed the one step away from being a part. You could have won a box of skulls
And some other boxes.
and some other boxes, but who cares about those? Box of skulls.
Box of skulls was the most important one. I will say that earlier this year I worked on a gaming table for that I was going to be running a game at Adepticon, which didn't happen. But on the table, I ended up using. I had these skull pits. That's what I'll call them, pits of skulls. So across an 8-foot by 4-foot table, I think I went through 3 boxes of the Games Workshop skulls. So
That's always really
A
fun,
lot of
though.
skulls.
it is a lot of skulls. And the fun part is that I realized sort of fairly quickly that I wouldn't be able to like get as much sort of infill as I wanted with those 3 boxes of skulls. So I had to start cutting the skulls in half. Sometimes I'd cut it so like across like
Yeah.
that way, so you'd have the skull was face down or the skull was face up, or sometimes I'd cut it this way.
Yeah, so you could
Two
just
half
make them
skulls.
look very naturally.
Yeah, jumbled
Yes.
in the skull pits. Because that's what we do, isn't it? When you're interested in miniatures, you build skull pits and you paint blood and gore.
Just doing some bases that had tons of skulls on them, using those same skulls, and mixing them in with some really coarse, chunky gravel,
Oh yeah,
and then painting the really coarse, chunky gravel bone colored as well. You end up looking like broken skulls in among the whole skulls. So you put 10 skulls on a base, and then you fill around them with like the extra coarse gravel, and it just ends up looking like a field of bones, even if it's not wall-to-wall skulls.
that's cool. That's a great idea. Wish I
That's a
thought
good
of
way
that.
to save material.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hey, Dave, do you have a very white that you can gently...
Gently lob over the top of our protective screen. I do.
I have an off-white, but I want to do the little glowiest bits.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is, just in case, I'm not sure if I'll need any white, but just in case. Okay, it's coming over. Oh, yay!
Got it!
The
I
things
don't need a lot of white. I need like little
Yep,
boops
just a
of
little
it.
bit. Okay, that's cool.
Kat, Clue is the first mini that you've painted, so it's definitely worthy of the Facebook page. It looks like you
Yes.
had a typo. You should most definitely,
Definitely post it.
post it up. I painted my first mini ever on the show. They're just like, get in that room, paint a mini. You work here now.
This is called a brush.
And then I did.
Excellent. That's good. How's your the terrain coming along, Aaron?
I have finished my probably a kill team's worth of Martian terrain here. So I've since the stream started. Let's see if that works to show off there. So I painted
nice.
2 of our hill sets, about four layers of dry brushing. I stuck on some my camera here. Stuck on some of the Army Painter frozen tufts that are really, really pale white tufts.
Very cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. This will be. I've got a little 22 by 30 inch board. I'll paint up in the same color. This will be a great little Martian landscape for my new Mechanicus kill team. So yeah, and then I'm moving on to some Necron objectives.
Oh, very cool. They look great.
Using our little unpainted hills. That was
Excellent.
probably took twice as long as it would have had I not been on a stream and chatting. Really,
Right.
pretty, like Gretchen was saying, really, really fast and easy to paint up.
Excellent.
So all the texture makes it fast.
Yeah, that's cool. No, using those frozen tufts from the Army Painter, I've used some of those on my Chaos Army that I painted earlier this year. But for the ground color, I went for a kind of a bluish green, but a very dark, deep bluish green. So I think I really like the way that those tufts look on that Martian terrain, that Martian red kind of feel. I wonder how. I think they'd still look pretty good if I got some of those hills and painted them as this blue green.
Yeah, I like the contrast on those light ones a lot. I feel like they don't show off very well in the package. They're so pale and white, they kind of just don't pop out. They really look nice on dark terrain.
They do, yeah. They look really good. But yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that. Perhaps that'll be my next table. I do. Awesome. And have you had a chance to get any paint on some stuff there, John?
Oh, slowly. I've gone from finishing up the red on the 2 gore pieces, and now I am putting a highlight on some terrain wall elements. Yeah, I'll hold this up real quick if you want to see it. It's just it's a cool little fence piece.
Oh, excellent. Very cool.
Which is kind of neat. And we got a whole wall system we've been putting together, kind of built around this.
All right.
Gate opens
Nice.
up, but it'd be great for like a Roman fort, or a bushman camp up in the snow, or let's see, what else could this be cool for? I don't know, pig pen. I don't know. Could do some cool stuff.
Loads of different things. Yep.
Yep.
It's where you keep your trained walruses.
Exactly.
Did you say a pen for training walruses?
Exactly.
Perfect.
You got to learn to ride. You got to break them somewhere before you can ride them.
I would not want that job.
Right, but the breaking walruses?
Yes.
Yes. It does sound like it would be a little bit dangerous.
Feels like the worst job.
Perhaps it's less of a break and more of a decision for like a mutual agreement. Yeah, sure. Okay. You can ride on my back as we thunder into combat against mutual enemies. Perhaps they're ensorcelled. Think of the wizard that came up with that spell.
Maybe it's an Arctic druid in walrus form.
Oh,
Yeah.
could be.
There's many options here.
So many options. Exactly. Hooray, fantasy worlds. I think as long as there's any option that isn't breaking the walrus. In the regular fashion.
Next on AMC, breaking walrus.
Excellent. Okay. Oh, some key. Those small bushes look tough to put together.
Mike has a question. Is our guest using a makeup brush to dry brush?
Oh,
There is.
he saw.
There's a guest using a couple different makeup brushes to dry brush.
Cool.
Those are my favorite for scenery.
You just opened up a can of worms. He's going to talk about makeup brushes now for the next half hour.
To be fair, though, in his defense, I use paint brushes to put on my makeup sometimes. So
Excellent.
the moral
But you know
of
what? You can't argue with results.
No.
I mean,
No.
it looks great.
These big, fat, inch-wide makeup brushes are terrific for scenery. And if I'm doing big projects like painting a whole table, I'll pull out the big old honking one, probably 3 inches wide. And you can paint a 6x4 table surface with that nicely, in 10 minutes. It's really fast, and I just think they're great.
Cool.
I'm looking at this thing I'm holding in my hand right now. I have not painted something that looks so bad in many a year. And whereas I've never tried dry brushing black over white before. It's a little funky, but we'll see how that turns out. It's an experiment I haven't tried before, so
I'm a big fan of
prime
experimenting.
white. Yeah, that seems like a good place to do it. Prime white, dry brush from black, and then up to grays, and then I'm going to do a bright blue wash into the cracks to try to make the cracks kind of glowy.
That'll be cool.
But man, does it look terrible right now. Just awful.
It looks maybe not what you want for this project, but I'm sure there'll come a day when you're painting something and you'll be like, you know what texture I wish I had? That weird one I hated.
Black over white dry brush that you never see recommended in hobby articles.
Yeah, never. One thing that started to make me think of is I'm not sure if you actually stood on a glacier before, but in the areas where it's sort of scraping down the sides of the channel that it runs down, it picks up stones and rocks and dirt, and it's all gray, and when it gets damp it's really like a dark gray. But then in areas where those stones have fallen away or it's cracked, you can see through into that bright, vibrant blue kind of look. So it definitely has that feel to it. So whether it makes sense with regards to physics, I'm not sure, but
Who needs it to make sense?
I think it's cool. I think it's good.
For the bases of a Necron army that I got about half put together, half painted right now, I bought a whole bunch of tiny little blue crystals off Etsy to use as a basing material. So I think these will look good with that.
Cool. That's neat. Excellent. I keep spotting pieces on this headless horseman that I've kind of missed.
There's definite. Oh,
I need to go back and touch that up.
the more I move him around, actually, he's pretty much done.
Yeah.
And I attempted to do more source lighting, glowing kind of business for the first time. No, I think I've done that before, once, but not to this extent.
Right.
So I also put a tiniest bit of shimmer on the horse because it's a ghost horse. Why not? And some of the texture of the paint, my mix ratio was different. So the sheen dried differently. So I was like, now it's uniform. And shiny. Glitter solves all your problems with painting is all I'm saying. Just, if you don't like something, dunk it in glitter.
Right.
Just do that. That's your tip of the day.
I did not see that coming.
You've yet
And
to
you can
use
mix it
that
with-
tip from me.
You can mix it in your clear resin too when you're pouring it on things, and it does all
Yeah.
kinds of funky things.
See? Just hide all mistakes with glitter. But no, it actually looks really cool. The horse kind of is like a dark indigo, and I cut the shimmer down by a lot with the I used a glaze medium because I didn't really want it to have that oil slick effect. I just kind of wanted it to look a little ghosty, and yeah. So it's like a nice nighttime blue kind of vibe.
Cool.
Looks super duper bright on the
On the camera.
on the camera. Yeah, it's not that bright in person. But no, for not really doing any kind of source lighting stuff, I'm kind of happy with it. Yeah, doesn't look bad.
No, I think it looks cool. Nice one.
Though it's because it looks so bright on the screen, it does kind of look like it has. I just throw it. It does look like almost as if it's a metal, like it's white hot or something.
Okay.
Because it goes pretty bright, which that's cool.
Yep. No, neat.
But
Excellent. Are you going to, have you just painted the base black at the moment, or?
I painted it black, and then I'm letting it dry so I can see if.
Nice.
Because it kind of muddled up a little bit as I was trying to. I thought that it looked kind of lonely without a reflection of the light source that I had attempted to do.
Right.
And then I was like, but it's nighttime. So I did a very dark brown that leads up to where the lighting hits, and then that kind of fades out to black to give the illusion of nighttime. But I don't know how successful that is. It doesn't look bad. I just don't know how successful it is.
Okay.
Should clarify.
Yep. We'll have to see what people say when you post it in
Yeah,
the group.
we'll post pictures.
Yeah. That's cool. I initially didn't realize that the horseman himself was wearing armor. He's got a lot of armor
Yep.
on. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, I've gone for purple with the horse. So I've decided to go with gold armor on him there. So you can see, only see it on his calf there. The greave, I guess. I think it's working pretty well. And now I'm just going for some grey with a little bit of purple in it for his cloak.
I do like the Halloweeniness of the black and the purple and like the orangey gold.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
It's a good.
So that gold I started with some charred brown, and just mixed the gold straight up with the glorious gold from Vallejo.
Very necro-fancy.
Yeah. Necrofancy.
Necrofancy. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Leona's like, no, now I have to deal with these people.
That's okay. I will admit that I'd completely forgotten about necrofancy.
How could you forget, Dave? Have you figured out your Halloween costume yet?
No. Perhaps it shall be necrofancy. I'm still stuck in the same dilemma that I have every year. It's like, do I let my hair continue to grow out and dye it white? And it was like the doc from Back to the Future.
I would suggest powdering it or spraying it white instead of bleaching it.
Sure. That makes sense. I'm good with that.
John had
I would-
mentioned earlier that it's the anniversary of Monster Fight Club.
Yeah, well,
Oh.
Halloween was our birthday.
Halloween
So,
is your birthday?
Well, that's
Very
fitting,
cool.
isn't
Halloween
it?
is our birthday. Yeah,
So how long is that going to be this Halloween?
it'll be 2 years. It seems like it was yesterday.
Wow.
Just started. Yeah.
How about that? Are you excited? You guys having a party?
No, we're all
Like
just
it's-
happy with it.
Just another day.
I feel like you thought about it for like a half second. You should get cupcakes.
Like,
You can make it a
no.
party with cupcakes.
Yeah.
We could, that's true. Everything's part of it.
Cool. You should totally do that. That's what
Although
we're doing here.
we did have somebody bring in one of those $25 bags of candy bars that they're selling in the grocery stores now.
Oh, okay.
You're just like, that's a lot of chocolate.
Yeah. I'm going to have to wait until we get much closer to Halloween before I buy any of those.
Yeah, I usually hold out on buying candy till it's a little bit closer. This is the first year we're actually in a neighborhood where I expect children, though.
Right.
The last couple of years, we never had kids, but I would get like a small bag of just in case candy because that would be my luck. I just wouldn't get candy, and like a lone child would wander to my door.
Yep.
So
My mother, who
exciting.
lives in Australia, where Halloween is not celebrated, each year she buys a just-in-case bag of candy.
Well, 'cause
Just in case.
you don't want to be that person.
Excellent. Yeah. Oh, actually, yes. I just remembered. Speaking of Halloween and scariness, Aaron, John, do you guys enjoy scary films? Scary movies at all?
I do. I don't think Aaron.
There's a story that's told in my family about when I was watching Godzilla. This would have been about 1985. I shrieked in terror during the opening credit sequence, wouldn't go back into the room, and really haven't watched a scary movie since.
Okay.
That's so wonderful. My boyfriend's the same way, though. My boyfriend doesn't enjoy scary movies, and it started when he was little. His parents took him to a murder mystery, and he got freaked out. He was like 4 or 5, and from then on, just like would not hard stop. No, nothing scary. And his brother's the same way. And I'm like, no, I don't want to watch them by myself, though. I can only handle a certain amount of scary by myself.
Nice.
I like real scary. I don't like slasher stuff. Doesn't do anything for me. But actual
That doesn't.
psychological scary. I mean, one of the scariest movies that I ever watched, and I was little back in the day, and it still holds up in my opinion. It's the original "Don't Be Afraid of the Dark."
I wasn't allowed to watch that when it was out.
It was one of those. I think it was like a Friday Night Fright movie on the networks.
Okay.
Those were scary. So I would get nightmares. Oh no.
I'm back.
Back.
I would get nightmares. So my mom was like, no, like you cannot watch Are You Afraid of the Dark or anything like that when it would come on. There's Nickelodeon, I think, would play it late at night, like the kids version, where all the kids were around the campfire. Leona, you know what I'm talking about. You were a 90s baby, you know. And my mom would not, that and Animorphs. Even though I read all the Animorphs books, she was just like, no, it's too scary for you. But I would sneak and watch them anyways and get more nightmares. And I can remember, like, there was one where, like, this woman got, like, trapped in a painting. And that scared me more than, like, anything else. Like, the ghosts, I was like, sure, it's ghosts. But being trapped in a painting by a scary lady, that's
That's
too
pretty
much.
frightening. Yeah.
I'd say Evil just came on Netflix. A new
I heard that's
series.
very good.
Right.
It is pretty good, but the first episode, I won't go into it, but yeah, they're having night terrors, and you're just like, oh, this is freaking me out. You're just sitting there. It's. I almost feel like it's almost an X-Files from the point of view of the Vatican
Okay.
in a weird kind of way.
That's really
Right.
cool. I like that.
That does sound interesting.
So,
Have to check that one out.
no
The,
Midnight Society for Gretchen.
Yes.
Listen, I said I'm scared, not that I won't do it. I am Scooby-Doo in this adventure, okay? I get scared, but you give me enough Scooby snacks and I'll go.
No, following the conversation last week, I thought, okay, I'm gonna take note of every scary movie that I watch. Because I was like, okay, well, it's Halloween, and maybe I can get 31 movies in. So since last week,
How many?
I have watched. I watched a movie called, the first one I watched was called Seven in Heaven,
Okay.
which I thought, okay, this is going to be goofy. And it was kind of a goofy film, but it was like the two kids went into the closet for 7 minutes, and when they came out, they were in an alternate reality.
Oh, that's weird.
And
That would suck.
yeah. So they had to spend most of the movie trying to get back to their reality.
How do you
true
even
reality.
begin to do that?
That's the story of the movie.
I would have been like,
I'm not going to
guess I
tell
live
you
here. I hope
in case you watch it.
I hope universe me in this universe has a better life than universe me in the other universe.
This one, they did not. So
that sucks.
yeah, but that one was kind of like the like you getting stuck in the painting.
Yes.
Like things like when you're
It's like-
being chased by somebody with a chainsaw.
You can
You
fight
know
it.
you know what you have to do. You have to
Yes.
run away, or you have to work out how to kill the thing.
I'm a
right?
barbarian. I don't like puzzles. That's what I am in a horror film. I'm not. I get frustrated when you're like, you have to do all. I'm like, no, I want to punch it. I want it to be easy.
Yes. Yes. But the next one I watched was Disturbia,
Okay.
which is a Shia LaBeouf film, and it's kind of like a little bit like a Rear Window
Okay.
kind of remake, but it was good. Devil's Gate was one that I watched, which was kind of a mother and child go missing. Dad is kind of crazy, sort of pseudo-religious zealot, and but it's not. There's another terrible force going on in the film. But I also watched one called Hungerford,
Okay.
which is kind of like a. It was almost like it was a college, like film major. There, like a movie that they would have made in college with their friends, with a fairly small budget.
Oh, so like the one I'm in.
Yeah. Except the budget of yours might be a little bit higher than this.
Probably. The budget of mine was a little bit more budgety.
But it was cool. It was it was a first person, like lots of running around, shaky handheld camera, sort of zombie movie stuff.
That's
But
fun.
it wasn't too bad. I watched Splice.
Oh, I've seen that one.
Yep.
That one's
Which
fun.
is a
That one's more
fantastic-
sci-fi.
It is more sci-fi, and there's a little bit of the psychological element in there.
Yeah.
Not so much from the scares, but more from the just the underlying terror of it.
Yeah.
That somebody would be out there doing that. So I'm not sure if you've seen that one, but Adrian Brody and Sarah Polley are biologists who splice things together, DNA strands that they shouldn't. Visions was another one that I watched, which is Isla Fisher and Anson Mount are a couple that buy an old winery, and she starts getting visions, and it looks like her descent into madness kind of thing. But
That's
there's a
always fun.
very cool twist at the end of that one.
Did you write these
It's called
down?
alcohol.
I did.
You
I wrote them all down. I'm reading off now. The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
I've not seen it, but I've seen it on Netflix. I was
Right.
debating watching that last night. And then I was like, you know what? There's another debate going on, so I'm just going to watch a happy movie.
Yes. Definitely watch The Autopsy of Jane Doe. It's very cool. And Girl on the Third Floor was the other movie that I've watched, which has CM Punk in it, who was a MMA proponent.
That's fun.
But that's an interesting one as well. And I also watched the final finale of season 10 of The Walking Dead, the first episode of The Walking Dead World Beyond, and the latest episode of Lovecraft Country.
I started watching Penny Dreadful. That's been my binge. I'm late to the game with that. I'm very late to the Penny Dreadful game.
It's so good though.
It is. It's really good, and
Yeah.
I was an English major, so I've read all of the classics it's based off of, and I have a lot of fun with that because I am trying to like figure stuff out as I go, and I'm like, oh that, and yeah, that guy's the Wolfman. But my boyfriend has not read any of the literary classics at all that it's based off of. So I'll be like just like rambling on about, oh, I like how they did this thing with Frankenstein, and he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about, and I'm like, oh, well. I was sounding real smart for like half a minute.
Right.
But yeah, I had no idea that it was as a mature rating as it was. Like I didn't know that things for Penny Dreadful was so explicit in some aspects.
R-rated is what you're saying. Okay.
Well, no, but sometimes it says R rating and it's for death and like violence.
Right.
And like maybe a topless scene. I didn't know that we were getting a little bit closer into like Game of Thrones territory of explicitity.
Okay.
Which isn't bad. Like that's perfectly fine and dandy. It's just I missed that memo.
You weren't
And I
expecting
missed
it,
it
right.
for so long. Like for as long as Penny Dreadful has been a thing and all of my friends have been talking about it, it just whoop, like I didn't know. And so I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, now I see why these friends were into this. Now
Right.
I understand. Spider-Man racy. Yes, that's the word. That's a good word for that.
Excellent.
And I was ill prepared. Especially because like I just turned it on while my boyfriend, his gaming computer is like right next to the TV and he has all his comms on, and so you just hear the most interesting soundtrack just happening as he's like doing his gaming thing. And I'm like, and of course he doesn't know what I'm watching, so I'm just like, just tell your friends, it's whatever. So yeah, that was it's a good series. I really enjoy it. Good aesthetic, good. I keep waiting. Now, I'm at the beginning of season 2 right now. I keep waiting for like Jekyll and Hyde to appear in it because it's like all the other Victorian ones.
Right. Every other Victorian character.
Yeah, like everyone else is there. And it keeps not happening, and I'm like, oh, why is everyone else here but him? Doesn't make sense to me. He's like he knows something. He's looking.
I'm not saying anything.
Secretly, there's Jekyll and Hyde's gonna pop up last minute of season 2. But yes, I've been having a lot of fun with it so far.
How many seasons are there now?
I don't know.
John?
I just know where I'm at.
What?
Is there 4 or?
It's 4.
I was told it gets weird. Like, I posted up on Twitter that I started it for the Halloween season, and I immediately had, like, 3 people be like, it gets weird. I'm like, I think we're already weird. I think we're there.
It starts weird. It doesn't get weird. It starts there.
Like, I don't know how to break it to you, but some stuff is happening. If this stuff from the first season is happening to you in your life now to where that would seem normal, we should work on that.
3. There's 3 of them. There's 3 seasons.
3 seasons?
3 seasons.
Right.
Okay.
3 long seasons.
But yeah, I watched Goosebumps the other day.
Goosebumps?
The Goosebumps movie?
Okay.
Yeah, the Goosebumps 2, because last year I watched Goosebumps 1 with Jack Black, and it's just fun.
You don't want to go overboard at all. You don't want to watch...
Too many Goosebumps.
You don't want to watch 8 movies and 3 episodes.
It's a fun
I'm not saying I
series.
overdid it, but I might have overdone it.
You went full force. You have so much. I thought I was overdoing it by like binge watching Penny Dreadful and like 2 horror films, and then not even horror, like Goosebumps. That doesn't count as horror,
No.
I don't think. And then I pumpkinified the house. I have a lot of pumpkins, and they are in all the rooms.
Right.
think I have more pumpkins than I have dinosaurs right now.
That's not possible. Lies.
Well, if anyone's in the mood for a Halloween show who doesn't like horror, a pound the table recommendation for What We Do in the Shadows.
Okay.
I love that show.
Just fantastic. My wife and I just finished that this past week, and super fun. Halloween, perfect for October.
What's that on?
Okay. Yeah, I think we watched it on probably Hulu.
Yeah.
Maybe we bought it.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure if we haven't, but I haven't watched that yet. But I have heard that it's
There's the original movie. Is it a movie or is it a mini-series? The original one. It's a movie.
It was a movie first. Yeah.
And then there's the series, and it's very dry humor. It's very funny.
cool.
I love it.
I'll have to check it out. I'll add that to my list.
I love the annoying guy, the annoying vampire. That's the one that just it's awesome.
It feels goofy and silly, and you could like maybe watch an episode or two like with the family, but it's unpredictably R-rated. Like there are some episodes that are wildly not family friendly. So, but then some episodes feel pretty tame.
Excellent. Okay, I will remember. I will make sure that I watch it after hours.
Yeah.
Oh, has anyone watched the sequel to The Haunting of Hill House? The Haunting of Bly Manor, I think it is?
Oh no, I have not.
I've not. It's not been getting as much traction as the Haunting of Hill House.
Right.
I don't feel like people haven't been like raving about it as much as the other one.
I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah, they did a sequel where it's a different
Different house.
different house, different family.
Okay.
And it's just supposed to be. It's supposed to have all the hidden ghosts in the background and everything, just like the first one. And
Let's check that out.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hang on a second. Sorry. Normally in the last 10 minutes, Gretchen and I go quiet and Leona plays music and we scramble to finish up our paint jobs. But yeah, I think we're both almost done.
Yeah, I've just been letting this kind of dry so I don't muddle it up. It's been occasionally just like.
Nice. How's that rock painting turning out?
Yeah, I don't know how well it will come up in my video, but the experiment turned out okay with a blue wash into the white cracks.
Yep.
Is kind of a neat effect.
That's looking good. Which paint did you use for that one? For the wash?
I used the contrast achromatic blue.
Okay.
Yep. About 50-50 with contrast medium, and then I dropped a few paintbrush folds of pure contrast medium in the cracks. Like in the camera, it's still a little shiny because it's still not all the way dry. But
right.
I think it'll be a neat effect when it's all the way dry.
Yeah. That looks very cool. Nice. So much you can do with those rocks and some dry brushing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
These will make cool little objectives.
Yep.
Plunk them down on whatever table, and they can. It's nice to have objectives that match the army.
Cool. Well, John, is there anything else you'd like to say about the Ice Wilds Kickstarter that is going on right now?
It's going on right now. It ends on Tuesday. There's a lot of cool stuff going on in it. But yeah, if you're interested in some really cool pine trees and all kinds of snowy stuff, you should check it out.
Yep. I'm a big fan of the. I was gonna say I'm a big fan of the mat that you've got in there. The table mat. It just looks looks awesome. I don't have any snow terrain yet, but I know where I can get some.
Well, I'm sure we can get some sent your direction.
Yeah.
So that should be fun.
I'll be backing it. Don't worry. But no, looking good. So can we pop the link in the chat again? Excellent. Leona. When I say we, I mean it's going to be Leona doing it, of course. Because I don't do anything around here. Excellent.
You paint.
I paint. This is true. I do paint. And I've decided to. I wasn't sure what color I was going to paint the Headless Horseman's head.
That's why I make things glowy.
Yeah, so I decided to go with that ethereal glow as well. So now I just have to run it over his over the eyes of the horse. There we go.
Yeah, I
looks
also
good.
made my horse have glowy eyes.
Does everybody do that? Does everybody give their zombie horses glowy eyes? If they don't, they should. We should do that now. Excellent. Cool. So, take that off. I'm going to pop this on the spinner. Haven't painted the base though. I feel terrible.
I have my base done, and I don't know if I've mastered the technique of the light source,
Right. The object source lighting.
object source lighting, but for like the first time, like hunkering down and really doing it,
Yep.
I'm not displeased.
Cool.
I would, but it's wet.
Yeah.
I'm just
You
gonna.
wait till it dries.
It'll just be here.
Yep. That's cool. Oh,
It looks good to me.
Yeah,
It's great.
but oh, sorry, I was moving forward slightly. There we go.
I do like how the way you did the brush strokes on the horse looks almost painterly. So it looks like it's something that would be fading in and out of your vision.
Right. Okay.
Like
Yep.
it looks.
I thought for a second there you were going to say it was like the fur, like the fur on a horse, or the hair on a horse. I was like,
That'd be a really furry horse.
Yep.
That'd be
take
that'd
one
be extra fluffy.
yes.
Oh,
There we go.
yeah.
That looks cool.
Actually, no. Looking at on there, I think the camera distorts a little bit of the brush strokes.
Yep.
To look more brushy, strokey.
It's also because we're seeing it here in the studio. We're seeing it on a really big monitor.
Pixelated, I'm sure.
Yes.
But,
It accentuates those.
But yeah, I like how the object source lighting turned out. I think it turned out pretty okay.
Yep. Did a great job there. I think I like that your blue looks a little bit purple and my purple looks a little bit blue.
I did a very indigo, like, very
Yep.
inky.
Yep. So some a nice comment there from Spider-Man. Like how the OSL turned out. Good work. Yeah, nice one. Time we got 3:53. This is amazing. We never finish this early.
No, we don't.
What are we doing?
This is weird.
Okay, everybody, talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, okay, class. This is it. This is, put your head down and we'll.
We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. I think my question that I'd have for John is, I know you're always thinking about things. I know you always have plans, and you're always
It's my curse.
It's a curse. Yes, you're always the ideas guy.
Yes.
What do you think your next idea for expanding the Monster Terrain line would be?
It will probably be, lava, fire, hell type stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Because before we did this one, the discussion was we were going to do fire and ice, and we were going to have the contrasting ones go to town and everything else. And then when we popped up with the idea for the pine trees, we're like, let's tie it into the D&D stuff that's coming out now. Everybody's talking about winter, so let's focus on the winter stuff, make it look wintry, put the add-ons and stuff into it, and then we can flip over and start working on the lava world side of things. During the first Kickstarter, we actually teased a couple of images when we were doing in-house paint jobs, and we did this. We've already done one of the mats. It's this, it's just like lava and lava rocks all over the place, and then you got obsidian and stuff and these shards coming out, and then we covered it with Sith lords and people very Star Warsy, and okay, that's super cool. But that will probably be it on the terrain side. But from the non-terrain side, it's going to be all cyberpunk all the time for a little while. And then with the Metropolis Kickstarter we did with the building facades that snap together and you build the buildings, that we're doing a whole nother very cyberpunky version of that. So everything's got the neon lights and the signs and all that kind of stuff to kind of tie it in to the one place. The first set we did kind of more generic stuff, trying to make it match a whole bunch of stuff. But now that we have the process for how to do it locked down and we've got the production underway, we understand the costs way better than we did. And now we're like, okay, now it turns into a graphics exercise. So now let's, we want a nightclub. We want, we want this, we want that, and go all the way through. And what's also neat is in the Time of the Red for Cyberpunk, it's outside of the cities. It's very Mad Max when you get out there. Okay. So we're probably going to play around in that sort of thing too. Deserts and Aaron painting the red rocks and stuff, kind of Arizona-esque, kind of having that going on. That's something we want to play around into.
Very cool. Yeah, I can imagine a cyberpunk city table where in the center it's got some very high tech kind of looking buildings, but as you move towards the outside, you move through the Metropolis warehouses and the more modern kind of look, and then everything just decays as it gets further out.
In the storyline, there's a whole district of the city that was hit by a nuke, a decade earlier. That it's wrecked. Like there are rubbled ruins next to high-tech cities. It's a neat city.
And then when all of that happened and the nuke went off, they were on the Paradise side, they were building this pristine, perfect world that they were building that got about 80% done. But then everybody got wiped out. So then it just stopped. So nobody's done anything with that. And then the gangs finally came into it. People started setting up shop. And then now it's really, they kind of call them combat zones, and people go into these places where, you don't go in the combat zone unless you belong in the combat zone. It's not some place that anybody else, the police don't go to the combat zone. The military doesn't go in the combat zone. Right. So unless you have this Escape from New York situation where somebody crashes in there and you got to go in and get them out.
That'd be great.
So Kurt Russell will save you.
Yep. You're gonna have a Escape from New York scenario, right?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Yes. That's gonna be awesome. No, that sounds great. When you were talking about the lava kind of look, I was thinking that's gonna be a great one for a combination of like a translucent orange and the dry brushing that Aaron was just doing, like the black over the top of that. I think that'll look.
Yep, and then light it up underneath.
Put a little tea light under it.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a really good idea. I wasn't even thinking tea lights.
No, John's done some work with. Put some tea lights under some of that stuff before.
So. Right now, since it's Halloween, you can find the well, not even just Halloween, but like the holiday season, you can find the tea lights that actually have the flame flicker.
Yep. So
many of them.
You go on Amazon.
Boxes and boxes.
Yep. Go on Amazon. Type tea lights. You can get them down to like 50 cents a piece. Yep. You buy them by like the 24.
Yep.
And they have white light. There's white light, yellow light, blue light. There's different kinds of stuff in there, which is neat. And because the way they're set up, they're kind of set up on a 30 mil round is the diameter. So anything you do, you had a 30 mil circle you can pop them up with. But you can break the cases apart too. And the entire mechanism can almost fit underneath a 25 mil base.
Right. That's cool.
So you can do some fun stuff with that.
Oh, I
Yeah.
never thought of that.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely cool stuff. I think, yeah, something like that would be great for just that lava flickering,
Just
that
even
glowing.
dim the lights as the game start, like that glow going. Oh,
Right. Yep. I can imagine it. Just imagine it.
Good time.
Where can?
Or you play with.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, using fiber optics too that you can buy online really, really cheap. These are great too because you got the little strands. You drill your holes, you put the fiber optics, and all you have to do is have a light source go up into the bottom of it, and they got
Right.
these little spotlights that all come out, and you can actually point them, and they'll light things up. And it's surprisingly easy once you get into it. But when you start, you're like, oh, I don't understand any of this. What's a circuit? I don't get it. Just put your tongue up. That's all you need to do. Just
And a 9-volt battery would be fine. Awesome. Cool.
I was just gonna ask, where can people go to find Monster Fight Club and follow some of your other projects?
Well, you can go to monsterfightclub.com where the main website is, and then you can also see us on Facebook at Monster Fight Club. And then because it was taken on the other ones, we are Monster Fight 31 on Twitter and on Instagram. And I would say that Instagram's probably our best source for images and all that kind of fun stuff. I think we're most active there. And then
Yep.
Facebook would be number 2, and then Twitter from there.
Cool.
So
Excellent.
yeah.
So just want to say thank you to you guys for coming on the show today. I'll throw it back to Gretchen now that
Thanks
her
for having
microphone
me.
is working. And Gretchen can do her
Thank you.
Now that I'm
outro
not
work.
silenced. Yeah, thank you guys for coming out and sticking through our very slight technical difficulties. I think this worked out pretty good, though. I
Yeah,
like this setup. I like being able to
Definitely
have
cool.
guests from their very own home
It is
into
cool.
the show.
Very nice.
The magic of Leona. But thank you guys so much. Thank everyone in the chat for coming by, and also make sure you are doing the prompt list. So what's the prompt this time?
Prompt for this week is scorched.
Scorched. So make sure you apply that to a mini. Any mini will do. And pop it up on the Painting Happy Little Minis Facebook page and join that if you haven't. And then you will be entered into a giveaway. And it's not a skill set contest or anything like that. It's done randomly. You just got to enter.
Yep.
So.
Got to be in it to win it.
Yep.
And if you don't have a lot of time this week, one thing you can do is you can just get some some dark brown and some black paint and stipple it onto the miniature you submitted for first week. Scorched. Just saying.
But it still counts.
I'm trying to help you here. I'm trying to help.
Creative. Thank you guys for watching.
She's Gretchen.
I'm Gretchen.
And I'm Dave.
And
And
we'll
we're joined
see
with Aaron and John.
and we'll see you at your friendly local game store.
Yep.